Today we are reading Bumper Tubs, Collecting Things, written and illustrated by David McPhail. Collecting Things. Bumper Tubbs loved to collect things. He had a cart that he pushed to the dump nearly every day. At the dump, he would pick through the trash, putting the things he wanted into his cart and taking them home. When he got home, Bumper cleaned and repaired whatever he had found at the dump. Then he put everything away. Some things he put in his house, other things he put into the little shed beside the house. When the house and the shed were full, Bumper left things on the porch until there was room for them inside. The only days that Bumper didn't go to the dump were Saturday and Sunday. On Saturdays, weather permitting, Bumper took all the things he had found at the dump and put them out on his lawn, along with a big sign that read, "Yard Sale." People came from miles around to buy things that they needed at Bumper's yard sale. His prices were fair, and the merchandise was always clean and in good working order. One day, Bumper was coming back from the dump with a full load when his neighbor, Hornsby, called over to him.
"Where do you ever find all that junk?"
asked Hornsby.
"This isn't junk," corrected Bumper. "It's good stuff that I find at the dump."
"It's junk,"
insisted Hornsby.
"It's what people throw out because it's no good anymore."
"But I can fix it up and make it good again," said Bumper proudly.
"Yes,"
Hornsby agreed.
"Then you'll sell it right back to the darn fools that threw it out in the first place."
Bumper could see that it was no use discussing the matter further, so he unloaded his cart and went into his house for supper. Bumper was eating his dessert, a slice of watermelon, when he heard a terrible racket coming from Hornsby's house. Bumper stepped outside just in time to see Hornsby drag his refrigerator through the door and shove it off the porch. Crash! It went as it landed upside down in Hornsby's petunia bed.
"You broken down old piece of junk!"
Hornsby shouted at the refrigerator.
"First thing tomorrow, you're going to the dump."
"What's wrong with it?"
Bumper asked.
"It doesn't work,"
answered Hornsby.
"It melts my ice cream and freezes my lettuce."
"Maybe I can fix it,"
offered Bumper.
"It can't be fixed,"
said Hornsby.
"Tomorrow, I'm taking it to the dump, and then I'm going into town to buy a new one."
And sure enough, when Bumper arrived at the dump the next morning, there was Hornsby's refrigerator. That night, as Bumper pushed his fully loaded cart into his yard, he was glad that Hornsby was nowhere in sight. It wasn't until much later, when he was sitting on his front porch, catching some night air, that Bumper saw Hornsby. He was leaning on the fence that separated their yards, and he didn't look very happy.
"Priced refrigerators lately?"
he asked.
"Not new ones,"
replied Bumper.
"Well, they're expensive,"
he assured Bumper.
"Outrageously expensive, and not nearly as well made as they used to be."
"Did you buy one?"
Bumper inquired.
"Not me," said Hornsby. "I'm no fool."
"I have a used one that works just fine,"
said Bumper.
"Would you like to see it?"
"It would be a waste of time,"
explained Hornsby.
"I need one that has to fit in a certain space. It can't be too big, and I don't want one that's too small."
"Please come and see this one,"
urged Bumper.
"It can't hurt just to look at it."
"Well, all right,"
said Hornsby. Of course, Hornsby didn't know that the refrigerator he was about to look at was the very same one that he had hauled to the dump earlier that day. Bumper had brought it home, cleaned it up, and repaired it. Not only did it look like new, it worked like new as well. Even when he saw it, Hornsby didn't recognize his very own refrigerator. It gleamed and sparkled and hummed softly. The one he had thrown out was gray and dull and made terrible noises. Hornsby rubbed his chin.
Looks about the right size, he said, but I can't be sure until I try it.
I'll help you carry it over,
said Bumper. So the two neighbors carried the refrigerator over to Hornsby's house. In the kitchen, they set it down in front of the open space.
So far, so good,
said Hornsby, and when it slid right into the space, as if it were made for it, he cried,
Perfect!
Hornsby was so happy. He could not thank Bumper enough.
How much do I owe you?
He asked.
For this fine refrigerator.
Nothing,
said Bumper, and he smiled.
You've already paid me.
Please like the video and subscribe for more fun stories.